Hello there, you're welcome to another interesting edition of my podcast. And this is where I give my own opinion or my thoughts on various football related issues that are making the rounds on the media space. And of course, how else is it to begin by talking about the just concluded Confederation of African Football Federation Executive Committee election, which took place on Thursday. And believe it or not, history has been created. Issa Hayatou, who had been the CAF president for 29 years, lost the election to Ahmad of um, Madagascar by an overwhelming 34 votes to 20. Wow. Quite a number of people did not see that coming. Of course, prior to the election, I did acknowledge the fact that this was the first or the second, the third time in Issa Hayatou's tenure as the FIFA, as the CAF president that it will be having some sort of opposition. The first time being 2000, second time being 2004. And ever since then, Issa Hayatou had become a fortress such that all the different elections he's always returned unopposed. But this time around, there was a huge challenge, and Ahmad and the group of FA chairmen who decided that look, we're going to change the status quo. We're going to do things differently, and well, they had their way eventually. So the wind of change is certainly blowing in the football arena. I'm sure the word change is quite familiar to a lot of Nigerians. You know, prior to the presidential election, the current ruling party in Nigeria rode on the mantra of change. And ever since then, we've seen changes in different places across the world. Brexit, for example, changed the landscape of the United Kingdom, and of course, the emergence of Donald Trump winning the election. And the same change is already blowing across the football arena. Um, and I can tell you that Ahmad winning the election marks a dawn of a new era for African football. Well, Issa Hayatou overstayed. He did overstay as the president, and he did not know when he should just leave honorably. I believe he made the greatest blunder by extending the age limit of whoever becomes CAF president, and that was, in my opinion, the beginning of his downfall. But we have a new CAF president at the moment, and Ahmad needs to know that his work is hugely cut out for him. There are a lot of things that he needs to do. He has said himself that he's going to make some changes. He's going to ensure that a lot of a lot of federations are, um, they are included in the running of football. He's going to run an inclusive administration, which I believe is sort of needed. And of course, another thing that is really keen on is the transparency of CAF. We do know that during the tenure of Issa Hayatou, a lot of things is shrouded in secrecy, and I think with the emergence of the new CAF president, that Ahmad, um, things are bound to change. He also did highlight the fact that he's going to include a lot of former African international, prominent international, the likes of Kano Wankwo, Victor Ekpeba, George Opongwe, Michael Essien, some of the big names that African has produced in time past. He would want to involve them in um, the football administration of CAF, which I think is quite quite good. Is a welcome development. Now, but it's very important to highlight as well too that Isayatu did achieve quite a great deal within the 29 years that he's been the CAF president. I did highlight the fact that the World Cup, you know, places of or World Cup slots of African countries increased under the tenure of Isayatu. Africa hosted the World Cup. These are still achievement, whether we like it or not. And at a time when a lot of locally based African players were not necessarily being given a chance to expose their talent, Isayatu, administration or tenure witnessed the emergence of a competition known as CHAN, which is the African Football Championship, which is solely for homegrown players within Africa. So I believe those are achievements. But of course, in the course of the years or over the years, we've witnessed a great degree of stagnation as well too. So and I believe we needed some freshness within football administration. So I believe Ahmad would sort of of course would begin to bring about these changes, and it's also important as well to for the new administration to sort of continue on the positives that Isa Ayatu had started already. So it's not a case of you know stopping any of the ongoing projects that is started. The positive one should be continued. And of course, from the Nigerian angle, I have to say this as well too, that Nigeria's Football Federation president, in the person of Amajo Pinnick, also won the election to get a seat in the CAF executive committee. It defeated Anjorin Musharraf of Benin Republic, overwhelmingly as well too. And I mean, as much as I'm not a fan of Ahmad Pinnick, I think, in my opinion, he has these arrogance tendencies. But be that as it may, I have to say this that I really admire his courage. He was one of the few FA presidents who openly openly stated where he stood. He stated clearly that he was in support of Ahmad, despite the fact that he was sticking out his neck, and things could go wrong. But he came out boldly and he supported Ahmad. He won his election, so it is fair to say that one, he will form a close alliance with Ahmad, and of course, Ahmad Pinnick has been enjoying some sort of patronage with the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino. He's been given some sort of, some positions within FIFA as a member of the head of competitions. So, Ahmad Pinnick, I've always thought to be a very ambitious person, and hey, there's nothing wrong in you trying to fulfill your ambition. And for me, that is one of the things that I would say I emulate him for taking his chances, for coming out boldly, and and is now a member of the member of the CAF executive committee. Another very important landmark as well was the election of Aisha Johansson of Sierra Leone, the female FA chairman of Sierra Leone, was also elected as a member of the executive committee, which is a huge positive. So I'm looking forward to see what this new body will do. I'm looking forward to see how they will implement their manifestos, and I must say congratulations to Africa. It's a dawn of a new era, and we hope Ahmad would sort of surpass what the previous administration under Hayatou has done. One thing I would like to see change, definitely, is they should look into the African Cup of Nations. I believe the 2 years, the biannual competition should be extended to every 4 years, so that at least they can sort of meet in the middle with the European clubs, European managers that often complain about the timing of the competition. Those are the things I would like to see. I would like to see the CAF Champions League have a single venue for the final games rather than the two-legged competition. I think time has changed, so I think we should realign within that. Those are the sort of things I would like to, the changes I would like to see under this administration. So welcome Ahmad, and I wish you and your new executive team all the best. Until I come your way again, stay blessed and have a lovely time.